So excited to kick things off with Jeannie here in the kitchen. The new year means a fresh look at what we are eating. The flavor queen, Jean Washley, is here in the Charlie Wilson KitchenAid kitchen with some healthy ideas that just might bring us some luck too. But I think more than anything, well, first of all, Happy New Year. So great to have you back.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for everybody to learn a little bit more about this because in the 5 minutes before we kind of kick off the show, I like to know what are we cooking? What are we doing? I learned so much.
Wow.
I really did, because I think when people know what they're putting in their body, and it's going to taste good. So let's start with a good juice. And I think we're kind of tired of our old juices, and you have like a new twist for the new year.
And it's so easy to do at home. And our bodies are tired of turkey and dressing and all that heavy stuff. And it's the new year, and we've probably made a few resolutions to get healthier, to exercise, that sort of thing. And this is a juice that is so easy to make at home. I've been making it for years. I call it cab juice just because it's got carrots, apples, and beets in it, and it's my favorite juice. Now, a lot of people, when they taste it, they think it tastes like grape juice. They're like, you reinvented grapes. So it's got really nice flavor. So the carrots have beta carotene in them, so they're good for your eyes.
You think too why it's so great. I love the combo that you have here with the carrots and the beets for a juice.
So the carrots are definitely good for your eyes. And then apples. Now, you know, apple juice gets a bad rap.
It does.
It's too sweet, that sort of thing. Well, it has fiber in it. You know, it does have that in it, and it's hydrating. That's why it's really good to drink. To serve it like this. Then we've got fresh beets, and basically this is 1 cup of each of everything that we're talking about here. And then we add 1.5, actually it's about 2/3 cup of water. And the other reason that juice gets a bad rap is because the fiber is typically taken out of it. And in this particular juice, I keep the fiber in it. And what you're doing is you're using some of these high-speed blenders, and it's going to get a little bit loud because it's got to chew it all up.
Well, that means our weight is melting away with that sound. Melting away. Melting away. That's going to be a beautiful color. Oh, the color is gorgeous. Right? Just the color alone, I think, brightens our mood. Oh, yes. Right? Don't you think teas, drinks, and juices and foods that are bright in color, because you're going to have a lot more mineral content in there?
You're so right. I think that you know, it's the winter blues. You know, it's dreary outside, so we can brighten our moods with our colors. You know, not just our clothing, but also in our foods. And then this fluffs up because of the fiber. So then I add even more. So I add
you're adding more.
Tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is really good for like calming down a stressed stomach. This is ginger juice, available at Kroger, Whole Foods, you know, just all around. And I add just a little bit of that because that adds heat. And ginger juice is antiviral, antibacterial. And
we need that in the winter.
You can Google ginger, and it tells you all of the wonderful things that it does. And I've been catering since Thanksgiving, and knock on wood.
Aren't you exhausted?
Knock on wood. I haven't gotten anything, and I've been surrounded by people who've had some really serious issues. And then I love collagen powder, so I always add this. And when I add that, it just kind of fluffs up even more. Now I'm going to, let's see. Actually,
what do you need?
A spoon? That spoon over there. Okay. And I'm going to stir it up.
Here you go.
And
I struggle sometimes with where else to put the collagen powder, right? It's usually you put it in your coffee, and I always forget to put it in a juice or a smoothie or something like that because it mixes right in. You don't taste it. You're getting all your collagen and peptides.
And you're right. And I'm going to leave the spoon in there. It's thick like this because of the fiber that's still in there. Fiber it helps to regulate the sugars. So, you know, all of these have natural sugars as well. And that way it just slowly allows you to have that energy. So it's invigorating, it's energizing. The beets bring oxygen into your blood. So, you know, like I said earlier, I call it cab juice, but I also call it care and beauty juice.
It has to be great for your skin and your hair too, right? Just with all those great things.
Yes, it absolutely is. So, I don't add any honey or anything like that. So it's going to have like
it has
just
all
your
this natural sugar.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to try this, and then we're going to swap places so you can get over here. Oh my goodness, this looks so great. Watch me get it all over my white
please
suit. No, I'm just joking. I want to do that. That is delicious.
Yes.
That has like just the right amount of sweetness too.
Yes.
That's delicious.
So the
Love
color,
that.
I just love the color. I love everything about that, and I was really excited to show you this. But I'm also excited about this. So we've been eating
double
black-eyed
dip.
peas and collards and all of that good stuff.
What
you
do
know,
people
for
think
good
of some
luck.
of these traditional things that you want to kind of kick off the new year, but maybe you want to back off
Yeah.
the fattening aspect of it, but you
Absolutely.
figured out a way around that to make it healthy.
Yes. So you can have greens by just cooking them down in water or chicken broth, you know, that sort of thing, even vegetable broth. So don't shy away from the greens right now because, you know, again, we've got the fiber going on. That'll keep you from wanting to reach for some Christmas candy that's left over and that sort of thing because it helps you to feel
Get
full.
out of my head.
But my favorite thing are these pea cakes. Black-eyed pea cakes, if you don't like black-eyed peas, you can substitute black beans, you can, you know, pinto beans, any of the beans can go in here, but black-eyed peas are just tasty. So this is how easy this goes.
Because this looks so, sorry to say, this looks like, are you making crab cakes today? And you're like, no, black-eyed pea cakes,
So this
which
is
is
all
brilliant.
vegetarian, and they are, there is coconut oil in here, so instead of using an animal fat, I do so much with coconut oil. So you put your beans in here, and then about a 1/4 cup of finely diced onions and peppers, just for flavor and color. And then the binder here, because we're not using an egg, is
No eggs.
no eggs,
Used it all.
but it's vegan mayo. And that keeps, you know, things creamy.
Yeah.
And now I know this sounds crazy, but the less expensive brands of black-eyed peas are creamier than the more expensive brands. So you may not have to add the mayo if you use, let's say,
Like a generic brand
like a
of-
generic brand of black-eyed peas.
Has
I have
more
no idea
cream.
why, but
Oh,
I've
my
made
goodness.
these so long, I've noticed that.
You've noticed the difference. You're like, why did I buy the high-end stuff?
Exactly. So we're adding a half a teaspoon of dry garlic, and you want to use dry garlic because you don't want to. If you use fresh, you'll taste it probably the next day.
Yeah.
But if you want to just taste it at your meal, use a half a teaspoon. That equals a clove of garlic.
Okay.
Of the granulated, and then you mix that all up, and then after you mash it, it's about this consistency. You still have some whole beans in it, and then you form it into a cake, and take a half a cup of cornmeal, and you just do this, and the cornmeal just adds crunch. So this
Any
is
kind
just,
of cornmeal?
well, this is just your basic ground cornmeal,
Okay.
just your basic stuff. And then this adds crunch.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it, but again, it's just those textures and things that just, you know, just bring joy to your life. You know, so when you bite into this, it's going to have like a little bit of crispiness, and then it's going to be creamy.
We need
I'm
a
gonna
little bit
take
of
this-
joy because I feel like if we're starting to cut back everything so soon, right, we're already getting a lot of
Exactly.
value, a lot of nutrients, a little bit of
Yes.
crunch, a little bit here and there.
So-
it's going to help you maybe stay on track, I think, a
Yes,
little
and
bit.
this
That's
is
my
familiar.
justification.
Well, it's familiar. These are
Yeah.
familiar flavors. We've just done it in a healthier way, and you know, we've got a little bed of stewed collard greens here. You can mix these greens up. They can be anything that you like. And then I'm going to come in here and grab
that looks
a
delicious.
black bean cake that's been sautéing away in coconut oil, and you can double it up. But you know, I find that one is, you know, it's filling enough, and this to me is a meal.
That's lunch,
Right
dinner,
here.
and I think too we're kind of
Absolutely.
reassessing what our portion is after.
Yes.
You know,
Oh,
we eat so
yes.
much that this is a doable, great portion.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to feel guilty if you go back for like, you know, another round at night.
Exactly.
Before you go to bed.
If you're, you don't have to feel bad about it because again, I keep saying the F word, which is fiber.
Yeah.
Fiber.
You've said that
is
in a
what-
lot of things, and
Yes,
that's key.
that's what makes you feel full.
Right.
So if you're going to make some changes in your diet and whatever, you just have to make sure that you have fiber because that helps you feel full. Also protein, you know, maybe a little bit of protein. Beans add that in, you know, in a really good way. So
From the juice to lunch to dinner. Wonderful.
Yes.
And I bet you work with a lot of people from cooking classes to catering, even just
do.
to kind of revise what they're eating with their family. Do you ever do that? Like kind of help them get on track for the new year?
I absolutely do. I'll do switch outs, you know, like I use a lot of coconut oil. I use refined coconut oil so you don't taste the coconut in it. And I'll say, instead of using bacon grease, which there's nothing wrong with, you know, bacon grease if that's what you want to do, but you can easily swap out with coconut oil
Right.
and just make a healthier decision. And I'll add that because sometimes, people are a little more mature and they don't quite understand, I can do this with this, or I've seen this product, how do you use that? And so I'll just mention it, when I'm doing something traditional like this, I'll say, use coconut oil instead of bacon grease right here. This works great. You'll
And
find
then
that.
try it and see how
Yeah.
different and wonderful it
and
tastes.
you still get your crispiness,
Yeah.
you get your crisp edges, you still have those familiar flavors, but you've just done something a little bit different.
Well, I want to let everybody know where they can find your recipes, connect with you.
Oh,
I know the calendar
absolutely.
says January, but Derby will be here before you know it. So get
Absolutely.
with Jean on that because I know you're going to be doing a lot of catering this spring.
Yes, it's the calendar is already filling up.
Oh my goodness.
Cooking classes are coming up. I'm at the Chef's Table in January and February, so just go out to Chef's Table and look up that schedule. And again, catering, I can't wait, to fill up the Derby calendar and get that catering going again.
It's coming. Thank you so much for setting us off on the right foot for
Yes.
our new year, January 2nd. So great to have her here for all these recipes and more. Be sure to follow Jean at Kay's Cafe and Catering on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow her at Flavor Queen.